Hello, everyone. Just a second. All right. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are kicking off something new, uh, a weekend AI rundown. Uh, every week, I'll break down some important topics which matter in AI and basically big releases, some new research, useful tools, or anything at all which impacts AI or human AI augmented workflows. So this won't be like your usual hype dump or a hands-on version, like one which I did earlier this week uh, on building AI RAG application. Instead, this would be more like a casual, a little laid back, friendly skimming of content, basically saving you hours of catching up. Grab a cup of chai or coffee, and let's get started. So today we are basically going to talk about GPT-5, which released I think around 3 weeks back. And we are also going to talk about Google's LangExtract, which is an open source library, and also something which released recently and we must have seen in our timelines, which is Gemini 2.5 Flash image model, which is also called nano-banana. So we are going to cover these three. So before I begin, just let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Prateek Singh, and I'm founder of Ganak.ai. I have been working in IT, tech, software engineering for almost 13 years now. I was working for LinkedIn for the last 5 years. I recently started something of my own. I am a author of multiple books. I have written more than 5 books. I have been writing on multiple publications like IP Switch, Tech Target, and ProcessOps. I've created some courses. I uh, put a lot of effort in writing an AI newsletter, which is also called Beyond the Code with Prateek. Go and uh, subscribe to this newsletter if you want to learn what's new in AI. I sometimes do also deep dives, so it would be helpful if you can just subscribe to just show the support. And yeah, so this is just quick introduction. So whatever I'm going to talk about, there's a QR code on your screen. You can quickly scan this and uh, reach to my page where you will get the links to the presentation I'm going to talk about, the content, the newsletter link, the books, and everything. All right. So with this, I'll first start with something which released 3 weeks back. I wrote a newsletter on this, but I'm going to break this down a little more. Uh, so first of all, we are going to talk about 1 second. Let me just perfect. Yeah. So we're going to talk about GPT-5. What is the architecture looks like? What safety controls have been added? What developer-friendly API controls are introduced in the new GPT-5 version, which was very much hyped. Uh, so yeah, so GPT released something new, GPT-5, which is again a new version of our favorite uh, large language model. Uh, if you go to my newsletter, you will find an introductory video as well. You can go ahead and take a look. But one of the most important feature which was introduced in GPT-5 was unified routing. Uh, hi, Bodhi. I'm just responding to the chat comments. Yeah. So something new which was introduced was GPT-5 unified routing. What this means is basically now GPT-5 is intelligent enough to identify, based on your input, which kind of model it can pass the prompt to. So for example, if your prompt is something like "Hey, hello" or something like a greeting, it can prompt to a very fast model. And just it can quickly reply to your answers, or it doesn't require a much more detailed work or analysis or breaking down into smaller problems. It can simply give you response back through a low latency inference engine, which you can see on your screen, uh, uh, through a simple or lightweight model. And whenever it requires complex or hard thinking, it can basically go to a reasoning model where it can do multi-step chain of thought to your thought kind of reasoning, and use appropriate tools for code, like internet search, calling some APIs which you have provided, and all those things. And it kind of then takes some time to do this kinds of processing and then returns you data. So this is like one of the most important feature which was introduced, unified routing. So that's why today when you prompt to your chat GPT, it gives you an option to skip complex reasoning and give a quick answer when you prompt something to it. So this was introduced. So this it's also an answer to things like uh, Open Router or other intent detection, and basically passing to relevant models. That kind of routing, intelligent routing is now inbuilt in your GPT-5. So apart from this, they also I'm not going to go deep into like expert model specialization. So GPT-5 is a mixture of experts design. There are some links on explanation of these two, but this is not the purpose of this live stream. This is just a quick some info and nuggets around uh, what's new. You can always go to the newsletter and deep dive into each of these concepts. There are a couple of models which have been released, which is first of all GPT-5, fast and thinking models. Then there are mini and nano models, and these are based on like decreasing or out of the parameters they are trained upon. So if you want something conversational, you can use GPT-5 fast. If you need deep reasoning, you can use the thinking model. And if you want a little bit cost friendly, ultra fast on simple tasks, you can always use mini and nano. And this is also cost of all these models. So if you want to use GPT Mini, it will cost you $0.25 dollars for, I think, a million tokens for input tokens, and similarly $2 for the output tokens for, I think, 1 million output tokens. So, and also the context window, if you can see, it's increased drastically, almost doubled. I think in GPT-4 and 4.5, it was around 200K. Right now, it is double. So this is also a new change. The model, again, the latest model is also multimodal, and there are some information around that they are going to support video modality as well. You can check the link and figure out like what this is. The cool thing about this, which I really liked, is developer-focused API controls. Why developer-focused? Because when we are building agents, everybody is building agents, and when you're building agents, you basically need a lot of controls on like how to run those agents, how they'll communicate, what are some simple tasks, complex tasks, how to maintain cost, verbosity, latency, and all those things. And sometimes you have to fan in, fan out as well. So for these kinds of operations, some developer-focused API controls are also given, which you can see on your screen. What they'll do is basically you can control now the reasoning effort, how much time a model should take to reason uh, your response. So you can control that. Similarly, you can control the amount of text it gives back based using verbosity. You can set cost ceiling, expert hints. You can choose a latency, and you can run multiple parallel calls through a fan out kind of a mechanism. So these kinds of functionalities are now available. So let me just quickly switch to my editor here, and let's see in a notebook how all these parameters can be controlled, and then we can come back to the demo. One second. Yeah. So this is so I have this repository on my GitHub. If you have scanned the QR code, let me just open it again. So if you just scan this QR code, you'll get access to my presentations GitHub repo, where I have all these Jupyter notebooks, all the slide decks, and everything what I have presented so far. And this also includes the current code which I'm going to show you around. All right, so first thing first, we'll import all the necessary files required. But before even we do that, we need some access to the model. So what I have done already is I have created models in my Azure AI Foundry. I went ahead and deployed a GPT-5 nano model. So I've deployed this model already. And I've taken the target URI, the key and everything, and I've placed that in my environment file. So there is a .env file. I won't open this file for now, but it has all the environments which are needed. Uh, so I'll just quickly install the required libraries first, which is basically OpenAI and .env to load the environment variables. And then you have to define these kinds of four environment variables. So these variables are basically the endpoint which we have created in Azure AI Foundry. There is a key which is also there in my environment file. And then we have some API version, which is again comes with the model which is deployed because those are versioned. And then you can choose the name of your deployment. So once you pick all these things and load it into in your environment, you are ready to go. And as simple as that, I'm just going to simply run it for the basic text generation. And I'm just prompting explain the concept of transformers in AI. It will take a few seconds to generate a response for you. So we'll wait for a few seconds here. All right, so I got some response, which is a standard what we get from any model, some kind of response. But let's take a look into like what kind of API controls we're giving now. Uh, Again, I'm doing a chat completion, but this time with the model and the prompt, I'm also passing the reasoning effort parameter. So there are multiple parameters available in the SDK now. So if I go to this create, you'll see these kinds of parameters are present. I think function call was already present. And yeah, so parallel tool calls is recently introduced. Reasoning effort we just saw. And I think there is a for one for verbosity as well. If you scroll down, we can see for verbosity as well, and a couple of others as well. If you go deep dive into the actual OpenAI documentation, you will see the detailed. I think my one second. I think my video was not on, so I'll just quickly show again. Yeah, so I've basically installed the all the required modules, OpenAI and .env. I have made sure that I have all the keys in place. These keys are coming from uh, Azure AI Foundry. Already created a GPT-5 Nano endpoint here, which you can see, which has key, which has a target URI, and model versions and all those things. So I already have these things in place. So basic generation I did, and I showed a simple generation so that everybody can understand this is just standard. And then if you come here, what I've done with the model and prompt, I'm also passing something called reasoning effort now. This basically gives control on how much time it will take or like in terms of depth of reasoning. So if I just over this, we can see that a couple of things were introduced in the SDK. So we see reasoning effort. And if I scroll down, we can see verbosity is similar. The same way we can also see parallel tool calls. All right, sorry for missing this earlier. I didn't switch my screen. So now let's run this model with minimal reasoning efforts. I'll go ahead and run this. All right, so I ran this model. It took like around 3 seconds to generate this response. And this is a very simple prompt, like summarize the theory of relativity, but I can make it like more like high reasoning effort, and it will take more time to generate my response. Basically, it will do more reasoning on it. So this may take a few seconds to complete, but let's wait. While this is happening, let me quickly switch from, I think there are a few comments. Hello, Rupinder. Hello, Bodhi sir. How are you? Long time. Hi, Segun Bello. How are you? All right. So yeah. With this, let me quickly switch back. And it took like 16 seconds to complete this response. If you can see, let me just close this for sake of simplicity so that we can see more things here. Right. So it took like 16 seconds to generate the response. It is basically the response is more detailed. It has some formula and all those things. So if you want to just control the reasoning effort, you can just now easily control that with this uh, API control now. Now, scrolling down, like we also got some verbosity controls. So if I just use verbosity low, it will generate a response for me with low verbosity. And we have multiple options here. We can basically control low, medium, and high verbosity, and based on that, it will generate a more and more verbose response for us. So when you're working with agents, if you want some quick responses, you can choose the verbosity low, minimal reasoning efforts. It will give you quick instant responses for a few basic things. And for example, greetings. And if you want more complex reasoning, you can control these two parameters from the new API controls, which are verbosity and reasoning efforts, and you can basically get the response based on how you want it. So we chose the higher verbosity, and we got a bigger response in the results. All right, so this is again something cool which was introduced, which I really liked, which was parallel calls, which was not there earlier. We had to implement it in, in our use cases. But now what you can do is you can like create a GPT request, which will accept a prompt. I create a simple function here, and I'm just submitting each of these functions, and it will just run things in parallel and give me a response. Take a few seconds. Right, so we prompted a few things here, and it will give me multiple responses. And what we can do basically is we can use this parallel tool calls and pass the tool calls to this, and it will basically generate multiple uh, responses for us. 1 second, I think there is a comment or something. Okay, perfect. All right, so this was a small demo on GPT-5, how things are controlled with the new API controls, how we can run multiple parallel calls. All this code would be available from the QR code if you have scanned this earlier. I'll show it at the end as well, so that if you have missed, or you can just uh, move to the starting of this video and you'll get the API calls and the presentation and the code deck, slide deck, and the code samples as well. So now switching back to my browser and where we were talking about GPT-5, we already talked about developer-focused API controls. We talked about how we can control a few things like parallel calls, verbosity, reasoning efforts. There are a few more things which are available. Apart from this, GPT-5 also introduced a lot of performance improvements. So you can see that GPT-5 is kind of nailing on the performance compared to other models. So if you can see, it is doing better compared to OpenAI O3 and GPT-4 models in math computations, and similarly for multi-language code editing. And if you want to access the actual benchmarks, there is a link in this newsletter. You can go ahead and access this. And not only it's more like smarter, it's also much more faster and does a better in the reasoning domain. So you can see compared to the O3 models, which was specifically designed for reasoning, this is doing much better. Also, this is something new which was introduced, which is kind of safe completions. So earlier, whenever you were prompting something which was unsafe or something it was not allowed to do, it could be like adult content, it could be something like some restricted words and all those things. So whenever you could do kind of things, GPT was kind of uh, hard failing on that, right? So now they have introduced something called safe completions, which will kind of give you a better reply. I'll show you quickly how that will look like. So previously it used to look something like this. If something was allowed in the prompt, model would complete and give you the results. But if it was not allowed, model will straight away refuse and or stop. But now with the new safe completion training, what they have introduced is they are trying to maximize the helpfulness of the model. So whenever you prompt something, it will see like if it is safe to respond, then it will try to maximize the helpfulness. Either it will give you a direct response based on if it is allowed. If it is not allowed, it would kind of give you an indirect helpful response, which will it will say either, hey, I'm not able to provide you this information because of XYZ reasons, or it will say, I don't know. So which was not earlier possible, but right now they do provide such kind of response. And obviously, if it is a response is not safe, it will obviously be not allowed. All right, so all the resources and links were related to GPT-5 and the introductory video, how GPT-5 router works. It's a nice article here. The performance report, mixture of experts, hard refusal is all available on my newsletter, Beyond the Code with Priti. So if you're not already subscribed, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. So go ahead and subscribe to this newsletter. I put a lot of effort behind this. All right, so yeah, so with this, we kind of completed what GPT-5 is. Now I'll quickly move to the second part, which is Google's LangExtract. Let me just quickly show you what this is. All right, so this is a new thing which Google has introduced. It's not actually new, it was released last month, kind of like 4 weeks old. I posted this on LinkedIn back then, but I'm just going to quickly talk about it and show you some code samples as well. What this is and what is the intended purpose of this open source library. So basically, LangExtract is they say a Gemini powered information extraction library, but this is basically you can use it with any model. It allows you to choose the model, but basically it's an extraction library. So if you have any kind of unstructured data, you can very easily get that the relevant information from that data uh, extracted using this library. This is very useful if you are uh, a team which is working on like a lot of legal AI is coming, a lot of AI use cases are coming in medical domain where people are reading documents and prescriptions and medical reports and all those things. So this enables developer to extract relevant information from a detailed multi-document uh, uh, kind of a thing and gives you controls to make sure that it is reliable. It gives you enough verbosity, and you can easily collate like a relevant extracted structured data with proper relationships. So this is the whole intent of this library. And like let's quickly go through the blog they have written. So, like they say, it gives a precise source grounding. So not only they extract the data, but they also annotate the data that it is extracted from this and this line. So this is kind of also act as a citation. So if you want to build some kind of citation in your text, could be one of the use cases as well. And they also make sure that the structured output is reliable. Uh, how they are reliable. So they're using again a pattern like a few shot prompting. A few shot prompting pattern in large language model is something like you can give some examples based on which you want to extract the data. In LLM, it's basically giving some example based on which you want to get a response, but or categorize or few other things you can do with few short examples. But For the reliable structured outputs, you just give some examples how you want to extract your data, and it will do a control generation based on that. Obviously, it is optimized for long text, and this is also something nice which they introduced, which is interactive visualization. So they now support they not only generate text for you, but they also generate an HTML visualization for you, which you'll see in a bit in some of the examples they have quoted here, where you can actually see how things are related to each other. Right. So yeah. Apart from this, it's also flexible support for LLM backends. Basically, you can choose your any of LLM or on-device models for this use case. On-device model is again a good use case. For example, you are building some app uh, for medical use cases. And people are usually mostly checking the reports basically sent on emails or something. And there can be app which can be quickly extract the relevant information on the device itself and give a report back to the user. So something like that. So yeah, so that is what Lang extract is. Let's see some quick examples. So this is the name of the library, LangExtract. So this is open source. So they have this GitHub repo. You can take a look into Google/LangExtract. They are again talking about a few some examples here. Right. So you define a prompt for the extraction rule. So you are mentioning extract characters, emotions, relationships. So in a natural language, you can define what you want to extract out of your uh, text, and that should be easy enough to do. And to make sure that the results are high quality, the content is up to the mark, the extracted content, you can basically give some examples like as well. So example data is this, and this is what should be extracted. For example, text is Romeo but soft. Basically, this is a snippet from Romeo and Juliet, and it is mentioned that once you extract this, you can extract the text Romeo and mark it as a character with an extraction class character, because Romeo and Juliet is a character of this tale, and you can just given attributes like emotional state and other things, define attributes as well. So this is how you can give a few short example and get a proper extraction done for your use case. So you basically run this extraction on a new input text. So this was a few short example. This is a single example, but we can add more examples to improve the quality. And once you run this on a new text, input text, and you just run LX extract with the examples and the prompt, right? What it will do, it will give you some results. So what the results will look like, I'll just quickly show you here. Right. So you can just download the results in a JSON file, in a structured file, which you can parse and use for your use cases to give it back to the user. But here, for sake of simplicity, we have also extracted a document which is annotated with whatever was retrieved from that text. So if you can see each and every uh, in our input line, the input text, we can see each and everything is now extracted. For example, Lady Juliet is annotated with a character which is blue, and emotion is gazed longingly. I'm not sure if that is even a word or something. And then her heart aching for Romeo is kind of a relationship. Then there is an emotional state and all everything. So this is a very simple example of like how to retrieve it for uh, of a basic tale like Romeo and Juliet. But the real world use cases would be more complex. So they have also some examples given. So they have created a project called RAD Extract. So RAD Extract is available on Hugging Face. So if you just go to google-radextract.hf.space or just search RAD Extract on Google, you should be able to come to this project. And what here you can do, there is some medical reports given, different kinds of reports are available here. And what you can do is basically uh, run lang extract on this and see what kind of things it can do. So, for example, let's choose a lumbar spine MRI report. So this is the input. This is the entire report which is given, right? And this is what uh, what was extracted. So not only we get a proper, let me just quickly show you how this will look in JSON first. So once we run LangExtract on this, it is using Gemini 2.5 Flash. It will give me a structured JSON output, which I can copy and move back to my code editor also to take a look in. But I'm primarily focused on showing you the structured output iteratively, and we can also kind of see the prompt which we have given to LangExtract. So I've defined like uh, what kind of sections and categories I need to define, some critical rules, some standards on output and everything. And based on that, on the right hand side, you can see what output was generated. So it not only just gives you the results in the extracted text, but it also must show the char interval, basically annotating from where to where the text was extracted and from the original document. If you see here, if I come in this structured JSON, I can actually hover each of these sections, right? So it's because of the lang extract character annotation. So let's process this. Yeah. So when you highlight something, if you see on the left hand side, it basically annotates where this text is coming from. So it not only extracted something, but in the actual report, it also shows where it is extracted from. So that's what we had for Lang extract. So we already covered GPT-5. We covered Google's Lang extract, which is an extraction library which came out a few weeks back from Google. But today and from last few days, we have been seeing something called nano-banana. So this is our final thing which we wanted to cover. I did a kind of a small carousel on LinkedIn explaining what uh, Gemini 2.5 flash image or this model nano-banana is. But what you can do is we can just quickly go through this as well. So you can just download this PDF document. It has all the relevant links what you want about this model. So everybody's like overwhelmed with number of things we have seen with what is possible through this model which Google released called nano-banana, which is a state-of-art model, image model. Why I'm saying state-of-art is kind of beating a lot of benchmarks for already existing AI image generation models. So some of the key architecture highlights for this model, it's again mixture of experts. So Gemini 2.5 Flash was already present. That's what we saw in LangExtract as well. But right now they gave an image model, which kind of generates an image as well. So this mixture of experts, 128 billion parameters, these things were already present in the model, the chain of thought reasoning. But they recently introduced text to image generation capabilities as well. So we'll see some examples shortly. But it gives text to image generation. It kinds of allows multi-turn editing, so you can basically quickly generate an image, then say, hey, let's tweak these few things, and it can do it for you very quickly. It can blend multiple images together. For example, I've seen people posting about images with all these celebrities. So there is an existing image. You can provide an additional image. It can blend these two images together, maybe change the faces and generate an image with celebrity or something. All right, and it kind of also understands sketches and diagrams. So we'll see one examples for this as well to for like code for a tool which is available in Google AI Studio, which is called Code Drawing Tool. I really like it, and I'm kind of also investigating more kind of further into this. So you can take a look. So here's a tech stack, $30 million uh, per million tokens is the pricing. Generation speed is quite nifty, which is 2 to 5 seconds, which is compared to other models like GPT and all those is much for faster. But there is a 1 million context window. Input size limit is 500 MB, and various kinds of formats are available. You can also access this model and capabilities through API and there's something cool. I think Google has been working, a lot of other providers have been working on this already, and there is a lot of work being done in AI safety. So there is this synth ID invisible watermarking technology which DeepMind has developed. Came. Yeah, I think they did a patent and also have extensive blogs and everything written on SynthID. But it's basically a watermarking technology now with image generation, which basically tells that this is an AI generated image, which is not visible to human eyes, but they are detectable by systems. So this is very important in terms of fake images which are getting generated. All right, so in cost performance, also this is much better. So you can see the cost. We already saw one in the highlights that cost is much better compared to other models. On the bottom, you see price per million, and uh, in on the left hand side, you see LLM Arena score. So compared to all these models, it's kind of less costly. So which is good thing, and it's also fast. So that also helps. Then we already talked about SynthID watermarking, which is very much required for AI safety and responsibility. So for undetected things, AI images which are undetectable by humans are now identified by detection systems. And this watermark even like survives common editing. So if I generate an image, I go to Photoshop, even then this will sustain. This will not go away. So this is also helps in AI content transparency and regulatory compliances. Again, a lot of benchmarks comparison with other models in LLM arena. I'm not going to deep into this. And we already talked about performance of Gemini 2.5 flash image or nano-banana and how that compares to industry. So much faster, cheaper. There's something cool which was introduced I really liked is again character consistency. So one of my friends was working on a storybook, and his biggest problem was character consistency. So every time he prompted to ChatGPT with an existing image, the next image generated may not have, or mostly didn't have the same character consistency. But now this is possible with Nano Banana, so which is very good to have. All right, so this is a small comparison compared to all the models. I'm not going into deep into this. Obviously, it is doing much better, and that's why it's also state-of-the-art model compared to all the image generation models available. This is outperforming DALL-E 3, Midjourney, and other models on various parameters. So you can take a look into this. All right, so yeah, so this is a quick recap. You can take a look, pause the video, and check the recap section very quickly. And there are some nice references to Google developers' blog, some videos. There's a detailed model card available for this new release model. Uh, if you want to understand what is SynthID, there is some documentation around SynthID as well, and you can take a look into this, what this is basically, and deep dive into it if required. And obviously, if you want to see performance analysis, so you can just go to this link, which is from artificialanalysis.ai. This gives you a detailed comparison based on intelligence, speed, and pricing for various models. And you can very easily see where GPT 2.5 Flash lies in intelligence, speed, and pricing. So it's a quick one-stop shop, small document for if you want to explore more about GPT-5. Uh, so just go ahead and take a look. Just go and download this model, and that will help you a lot. Let me just quickly switch to see if there are any comments. Otherwise, if not, we can just quickly move to the demo of the final thing, which we are going to do is a small demo on GPT-5. So things looks cool. So I'll just quickly go back here, and this is Google AI Studio, which we have. So I'll show you a couple of capabilities which are present in Google AI Studio, and we can just talk about it. Let me just reload this app. All right, so first thing first, you have to install all these required libraries. So there is this Google Gen AI library. I'm just installing it, and I'm just using the Gemini Flash model. Let me refresh the page. All right, so I'm in this Google AI Studio, and there is a notebook which I can use, basically Google Colab notebook, which I can basically leveraging to quickly see what are the capabilities of the model. So basically just quickly importing all the relevant modules. So GenAI module from Google, and I'm just using Google GenAI, create an instance sort of it, and using Gemini 2.5 Flash image preview model. So I'll just quickly run this. And if you see down here, what I'm doing, I've defined a prompt. I'm just prompting that I want to create an image of a cat with a green left eye and a blue right eye and red patches on the face and some more details. And I'm just passing it to model. So once I run this, it will take a few seconds to generate the image. Yeah. So based on our prompt, it generated a cat with red marks on its face, uh, one green eye on the left, and one right eye on the blue. So that kind of detailed we can provide and can generate an appropriate image. And looks very photorealistic. It seems like a real image. And once we have the image, we can kind of like, since we already talked about, we can do multi-turn editing. So I can pass the same image in my prompt again. I'm passing the cat image which we generated, if I prompt it again, and I say I want to create a side view picture of this cat in the tropical forest eating a nano banana under the stars. So it should generate an image again based on my new output. And the good thing you'll notice in this image, it kind of maintains the character consistency. So we see the green eye again, we see the red marks on the face, and it is eating some banana in this tropical forest, right? Right. So now let's see if we can just add few more things. Like for example, I'm asking it to carry the same attitude, but now cat should be dressed based on in a fancy restaurant and again eating a banana. So let's run this. And now the cat is eating a banana in a fancy restaurant, all decked up using like wearing a tuxedo and everything. And there is a couple of other cats as well in the background. All right. So yeah. So same way we can also generate multiple images and kind of tell a story. For example, if I'm a cooking channel or something, or I'm a cooking blogger, I want to generate multiple images of like how to bake macaron with right, how to bake macaron. So I can just quickly prompt the model on that, and it should be able to generate steps like this. So it gives me the step one, like how to prepare the ingredients. It will just tell me like give me an image, how to whisk it, then maybe like what green like dry ingredients you can add and all those things, maybe sugar, some soda, some things like that you can add to, and then how to put it in a baking tray and then put it in an oven. And once you get it's baked, you get these macarons and how to do add frosting on top of it. So it generated an image for the entire story. For if I'm a cooking blogger or something like, I can very easily generate these images. So this is what Gemini 2.5 Flash image model can do, which is also called nano-banana, which is a code name for this model. And that's all we had for you guys today. So kind of just recapping what all we covered very quickly. So we talked about like GPT-5 and what's new in reasoning, in routing, the API controls. We also kind of looked into what's Google LangExtract and why structured JSON from like messy documentation is important, and how can we can very easily extract the relevant parts kind of using some patterns which we have kind of already used in agentic AI development, like what you say, few shot prompting and defining uh, how to like prompt. Basically, in a natural language, we can extract by passing a natural language, we can extract a specific content from a messy document. And then we finally took a look into Gemini 2.5 Flash image, the nano-banana model, which is changing the visual workflows across multiple domains, and people are really loving it. That's why we see a lot of our timeline basically filled with all these images. And yeah, so these are all the things which I wanted to cover. But on closing, closing thoughts, there are a lot of new things happening in AI. And these tools are not winners, to be very honest. These are some nice tools, but they are not winners. Uh, we as people have to figure out the right use cases for these tools and then augment into our workflows. I think that would be the real win. But whole idea of these demo is to make you aware of all the tools which are available, the more casual, chilled out, laid back approach, like we're doing it right now. There would be more hands-on detailed demos and live stream, which I'll be doing like I did for uh, creating RAG application, retrieval augmented generation, earlier this week. But this is more casual in nature and very quick AI weekly rundown. So that's a wrap, guys, for the very first weekend AI rundown. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Please do subscribe to my newsletter. And there is a poll which I'm running for the next live stream. So if you are interested, just go and vote on this poll. I'm basically focusing on two topics since I covered retrieval augmented generation. Uh, Now I'm going to talk about either agentic RAG or graph RAG applications and how to build them. So go ahead and vote if possible. That will help me out to look into like basically create a demo or a presentation for you guys in which you are interested. Only few people have voted for now. Uh, but looks like we are going for with agentic RAG. So please go ahead and vote, and please subscribe to my channels subscribe to my YouTube channel, Beyond the Code with Prateek. Subscribe to my newsletter, which I write very rigorously, which is here, and also go to my the company page, which I'm building right now, an AI SaaS application, which is Ganak AI Labs, and go ahead and subscribe this as well. Follow this. You'll get some nice insights. I usually talk about various concepts, new releases, and everything that will help me a lot. So with this, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much. See you in the next weekend AI rundown. Thank you.